Firstly, I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas for 2007, and the amount of views of these videos have reached gigantic proportions. A lot of the viewers are Muslim, and I have said that I prefer the Muslim way of life because they don't smoke, particularly like they do in the West, and or drink, and do respect each other, and they do believe in the second coming of Jesus, which is very important that Christianity be aware of that. And of course I've also mentioned that there is a letter by Muhammad at Catherine's on Mount Sinai where Moses was given the Ten Commandments. The St. Catherine's is built around that particular place where the burning bush was, and it is very significant that the only handwritten document of any of my prophets in existence today is the letter of Muhammad to the priests at St. Catherine's, where he declared that all Muslims will protect Christianity. So it's very important for the Muslim world and the Christian world to understand that Muhammad was sent by me, and he was giving you the ultimate instruction to love each other. So the 206 number is how many bones there are in the human body. It is the width of the Queen's Chamber in the Great Pyramid. It is a line around the Earth which is 20600 nautical miles through. The latitude that we now know is India, and the lunation 206 is right here. It is directly under the line, that line there, which is the 1521 line. That top line is the 1727 line, and these are converted to latitudes. So we are looking at the dimensions of the Queen's Chamber, and it gives you the position of lunation 206. So we've laid a pyramid over the northern hemisphere with the baseline along the equator, and we now know that the human bones, when ground up and poured into a pile, will give you what is called the angle of repose, and the distance around the moon and the earth is 31680, which is Lord Jesus Christ. So the distance around where I'm talking to you from at the moment is 31680 kilometres around the earth, and it is 5813 kilometres from the South Pole, which is the height of the pyramid with the capstone in place. So it's pretty obvious that this is what I had to do in the first place to overcome, by miraculous means, the creation of the earth, and let the world run wild, because it is a test. If you go towards evil, that's where you're going to end up. So it comes a time when I, as Jesus, came to the earth, and this is a mention here, by the way, of St. Catherine's. So when I came to the earth, I had to show you many things. Coming a second time, I have to show you even more. This is the precise moment in time, 3:53. There's the universal time, 15th of August 1939. So if we count from my rebirth, January 11th 1944, to that date, it's 1610 days, and it's to pluck up by the roots. What I've done here basically is there's a passage leading out of the pit, which represents the earth today, or Jerusalem, and if we project a line up to the height of the pyramid across, we give you England, and the width of England when formed as a pyramid is 942 miles because it's 600 miles high, and 942 is the number of times the word Jesus is found in the New Testament. Now the point being, these other religions here are stopping mankind from reincarnating and leading into paradise, so we've got to get rid of them. We have to combine all the religions together, take all the good bits and get rid of the bad bits. So there's India with the line across it, and that's your Lunation 206. So there's your position. This is down to the South Pole. So we measure up from the South Pole. We have a line here that goes up to line up with St. Catherine's and Muhammad. And we have the three major religions here. But the equator line runs under it, goes to the tomb, and from the tomb goes up through India to lead into the River of Paradise. So there's the pyramid overlay with England. There's a lot of stories and myths about England, but this is Michael the Archangel. There's the wings of the angel coming down, and we can measure it and do all sorts of wonderful things in there. There's the two little horns of the book of Daniel. So that again is following the synchronistic overlay of what it's all about. Now the British, the word means in Hebrew Brit or Brit, and the Ish. Now I have become, as Jehovah has become the Ishi, which is man, because they couldn't do it. So the British was supposed to have had the covenant between God, which is this word here, and the Brit and the covenant and the Ish. So the Khazar Jews have taken over, which have placed their satanic god on the throne of England via marriage of their children, their daughters, into the royal line and the aristocrats of England. So therefore they're all being demonised by these genetics of the Khazar Jew that come out of Russia but were originally out of Turkey. They weren't Jews in the first place. This is the whole point. So the innocent Jews were rounded up, and they're the scapegoat, and they were herded into the concentration camps because the Jews did the right thing. They were living as they were supposed to after the diaspora, to live amongst the Christian nations. Advise them. This is what they were supposed to do. Keep the Old Testament intact, because that's where the answer is. But of course they went mad and were taken over by rabbis that pushed the Talmud and only the first 5 books of the Old Testament, disregarding all of the prophets. So what they've basically done was taken over the banking and the Pentagon and these people that make money on wars, and they create wars through the CIA and so forth. The CIA is one of the greatest evils of all time. They are dedicated to creating wars. But it's all to do with the scapegoat, the Jews. Now we've got to forgive all Jews because they are unaware. They think the Christians are the devil, but they don't realise, because they don't study the Old Testament, they only study the Torah. And that's dominated by the rabbis, which inflict them with the Talmud. And the Talmud is the greatest abomination of all time. In it, a priest is allowed to have sex with a child, providing the child is 3 years and 1 month, be it male or female, doesn't matter. They say that the wounding of the penetration of the penis is a wound that will heal. So they are encouraging child molestation. So this is the kind of thing that's in the Talmud. It's an absolute abomination. So this is why I am now Ishi, Jehovah, Bali. Okay, so we got his symbolic name of Jehovah Bali. It's in the book of Hosea, and this is why I had to marry a harlot. The entire world has become a harlot. Now I'm about to end this and start again, so I'll be back in 1 moment.